Well, it's September 20th. This is only part one that I'm going to be doing on the video for this particular day because it features ChocoPro 256, where they have special guests coming all the way from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Now, if you guys don't know, they went to their territory last year, and now Michinoku Pro Wrestling comes to their place to see how they do. But we also going to be reviewing two events recently by two different Yoshi promotions. The first one is dates back all the way to September 1st by Pro Wrestling Wave with, of course, what was it called? I think it's called Phase 2 Reboot 3rd, NAMI 1. And of course, we have Stardom with day 14 of the 5-star Grand Prix. Now, keep in mind, we're almost getting closer and closer to the end. We only got 1 week and a half to go from that, I believe, until October 1st. And also, we got some news updates. We definitely got to be sharing what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with Pro Wrestling Wave with Phase 2 Reboot 3rd NAMI 1 that took place on September 1st in Shinjuku Face. Opening match was, of course, a trios match. First team, we have Aruka Umasaki, Rina Amikura, and Manani taking on Yuna Mizumori, Zuzu Suzuki, and Kahuko. And this was a very interesting matchup because these girls are different. Now, I did like moments where like Rina Mikura and Yuna are two of the powerhouses in their respective teams right now. But when it comes to being a bit of the aggressive side, I picture both that coming from Umasaki and Suzuki. But however, there was a moment Kohaku actually misfired and hit Zuzu. Now, you probably guess, uh-oh, she's going to get pissed. Well, that is the initial assumption. But however, it was, of course, Kahuko who did a jumping pedigree onto on Umasaki to pick up the win. But as soon as the match was over, Zuzu was not happy. I believe she kind of pushed her to the side, realizing, she messed up. But it's okay. I mean, Zuzu's not good with making friends at all, except for her Prominence teammate. Now, speaking of Prominence, we have Hiragi Kurame from Prominence taking on the veteran Sakura Hirota. Now, if you guys know who Sakura Hirota, she is one of the most funniest individuals in the ring. She is like throws in a bit of comedy, but however, when she got in the ring, she immediately went beeline straight to Kurumi in order to slow her down. So she tried to soften her up as much as possible, but as you know, Kurumi is actually too big, but she was able to withstand everything she could that throws in her way. But however, Kurumi sealed the deal against Hirota with a flying splash from a distance. 1, 2, 3, she won the match. Now, our next match, we have tag team action. We got Itsuki Aoki teaming up with Prominence Risa Sera taking on Miyuki Takase and Yuki Miyazuki. Now, this is another good example. Now, I did enjoy how, of course, there was some good moments coming in from both Risa and, of course, Miyuki. But unfortunately, this one ended with Miyu Masaki pinning Risa Sera. This is the same kind of maneuver I seen with Taichi. I don't know exactly what you call it, but that's how she sealed the deal. Now, our main event is the Wave Tag Team Championships. We have the challengers, Yaku and Pro Wrestling Wave founder Yumi Oka. They take on the current tag team champions, Galaxy Punch, Hikari Shimizu, and Saki, also members of Colors. Now, I have to say this match was very interesting because in this particular case, Galaxy Punch has been one of the most effective tag teams that I've heard and seen so far. But it was a knee dive by Saki onto the neck or face to Yako that sealed the deal for her. 1, 2, 3, Galaxy Punch retained the title. But however, that does not end there. Of course, we have challengers coming left and right. Now, uh, Sakura Hirota did challenge these titles before with the creepy, I forgot her name, this little creepy, scary person. But this time, she wants to team up with her friend, um, Yuki Miyazaki. But however, it looks like another legit tag team coming from Pro Wrestling tag team, the current women World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana tag team champions, Luminous, wants to add more gold into this. So it kind of makes more sense. But I do know that they are set to challenge Luminous soon enough. So that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. So I'll be staying apprised from this. Now keep in mind there have been 2 other events that after this event, I haven't seen them. Hopefully someone will put them on, but we'll just wait and see. But right now, let's move on with Stardom. Okay, Stardom, day 14th of the 5-star Grand Prix. We have our opening match, a 3-way tag team match. Our first team was a very unusual team, Ami Sodi and Lady C. Now, these 2 ladies are tall as hell. So I don't. For some odd reason, Lady C was saying on Twitter they all call themselves the Tokyo Towers. I don't know if that's a good name, but that's how it is. They face off against star members Momokogo and Koguma versus the Cosmic Angels, Waka Tsukiyama and Tam Nakano. I know many fans love to see Waka pick up her win. I mean, unfortunately, it would have been great, but as you know, recently there have been times during matches where, of course, Tam and Koguma actually confront each other. Koguma try to make faces out of her, try to make a little fun, and not to mention try to get her to do the bear thing, but it doesn't work at all. But in this particular case, it was Koguma who finished off Waka with the splash from a distance, giving them the victory. Now, our first match of the 5-star Grand Prix is coming from the Blue Stars. We have Zuzu Suzuki taking on Saya Ida. So this is a very interesting dynamic. I mean, these 2 women are about the same age, but the real question, who is the most strongest one? I know Saya Ida is a powerhouse for her size, but Zuzu is a very good, effective wrestler that we have seen outside of Stardom, going from freelance. But it was the German suplex that finished off Saya Ida in order for Zuzu to pick up her next 2 points. And I believe right now she is with 2 wins and 4 losses with a total points of 4. As for Saya Ida, she has 4 points, but she only has 2 wins and about 7 losses. So most likely, she's probably not going to make it all the way in. Zuzu possibly the same thing, but her last match is on October 1st against Julia. So keep that in mind. Our next match is coming from the Red Stars. We have Unagi Sayaka versus Maika. Now, last year, these 2 ladies did confront each other, ended up in the draw, but in the process, it was Maika who ended up with a bloody mouth. So basically, this is where, of course, who's going to come out on top from last year's 5-star Grand Prix. Now, you probably would assume it would end up with a draw, but no, Maika was able to overcome it and put her in the Michinoku driver, giving her next 2 points. I believe Maika right now has 6 wins and 3 losses with 12 points. So right now she could be one of the potential ones that could go all the way. As for Unagi, well, sadly she is currently right now with only 2 points in this process. So she lost a lot of matches. She hasn't had a good 5-star at all, which is kind of bizarre, but that's how it is. Next up in the Red Star block, we have Risa Sera and Mai Sakurai. Now, Mai Sakurai out of nowhere just went ahead, beeline to Risa Sera. She was still wearing her costume dress, whatever she does when she comes out. Now, keep in mind, Mai Sakurai in this way, the reason she attacked her, as you know, DDM and Prominence, they're at war with each other. But Mai Sakurai thinks that she can beat the crap out of her, saying, "I will crush you." Now, keep in mind, Risa Sera, she doesn't back down. She takes enough pain. She is the queen of the death matches. That's what we know about her. But even though they take this fight outside. Now, the more times Risa Sera tried to get back in the ring while they're being a count out, Sakurai tries to stop it, like trying to keep her in there, like she wants to hurt her, because she will not appreciate Risa Sera coming to Stardom and attacking Julia. That's the thing that it drives her crazy. But however, they both ended up in double countout, but also led to a draw. Each of them get 1 point. So right now, I believe Risa Sera has about 11 points, I believe. Sakurai 9. But of course, my Sakurai felt like the tournament. She just wants to hurt Risa Sera, because keep in mind, like I said, DDM and Prominence, they're at war with each other. Now back to the Blue Stars. Now these two ladies, they have confronted each other once before in singles action, months ago, back in April for the Cinderella tournament. This is between the Cinderella herself, the winner of the Cinderella tournament, Mirai, and Mina Shirakawa. Now, if you guys remember last time, Mina Shirakawa went back to her Bloody Angel alter ego back then, but she had this handmade heart shape thing that she brought with her that Mirai destroyed in the press conference, and Mina brought it back. However, in the process, Mirai took that as a souvenir, and she brought it with her. Not to mention, Mina Iwaka, who played one of the seconds for Mina, brought the actual coloring drawing of Mirai. So I thought it was very interesting. But I have to say, much of this match was more of submission technique, which is good. I think we have seen much of that with Mina a lot. You know, using the figure 4 leg lock, trying to use leg locking combinations that could help her win. But however, it was the Mare that sealed the deal by Mirai, giving her the win. So right now, Mirai has about 6 wins and 3 losses with 12 points. As for Mina, she only has 6 points, I believe. Yeah, 6 points with 3 wins and 4 losses. Now, back to the Red Stars. Next match, we have Saki Kashima versus Utami Hayashida. Now, these two ladies, as you know, they were posing as Tam. Now, I don't know what the hell they're trying to do, but however, as you know, Saki Kashima knows how to pull off the Kishikaisi in order to win the matches. That's always been her primary weapon in order to win matches. And frankly, that's exactly what she did with Utami, giving her the points. So right now, I believe Saki Kashima has 8 points with 4 wins and 6 losses. As for Utami Hayashida, she's currently have 10 points with 5 wins and 3 losses. Now, our next match for the Red Stars, we have Saki taking on Sudi. This is a good match. Now, these two ladies have never confronted before each other, and I think this is a good match to tell. However, you see a little bit of the power with Saki, but it was, of course, Sudi that picked up the win with, I think what she called it, I put that on my notes. The Rune, I think that's what it's called. I'm not sure if that's what it is. They pick up 2 wins, and I believe right now Sudi has 12 points with 6 wins and 4 losses. Right now, she cannot afford to lose the next couple of matches, knowing that there is a possibility if she doesn't win this, she'll never pick her opponent. But as for Saki, I believe she has 4 points right now with 4 wins and 4 losses. Now, our main event, of course, is these two rivals that know each other very, very well. They're both excellent high speedsters. We're talking about, of course, Natsupoi and Starlight Kid. Now, these two ladies have been at each other before many times. But, however, since, Starlight Kid joined Odatai, she has changed her perspective. She's like the one thing that, of course, Natsupoi will not let go. But this match was so intense in every aspect. Now, keep in mind, Starlight Kid has an agenda. Not only to defeat Natsupoi, because according to what Starlight Kid said, they have confronted each other 6 times. And every time, it's always been her losing to Natsupoi in Osaka. But the real question is, could she outdo her this time? And frankly, she did when she applied the internal foe on her, giving her 2 points. And I believe Right now, Starlight Kid has about 8 points with 4 wins and 3 losses. Natsupoi only has 10 with 5 wins and 4 losses. But during the promo, she made it clear that, this is her main event. But one thing I know for sure about Starlight Kid, she mentioned in the post-match comments that her true goal right now is to go to the finals, and she knows that her final match will be against Mayu Iwatani. As you know, this is her way to show her that she has surpassed her, that she will finally beat her like she should have done long time ago, ever since she joined Oda Tai. But the real question is, she pull it off? Or we're going to see a similar thing with Will Ospreay, as you know, because Will Ospreay tried to believe that he was able to beat Okada. So we're seeing a similar situation. All we got to do is wait and see until October 1st. So I think that's it with Stardom. Let's go with ChocoPro. Okay, ChocoPro 256. This took place recently, today in Japanese time. But they were dealing with the typhoon. If you guys have been aware, there's been a typhoon been running around, and one of their fans was outside with the window open, and of course, Balinaki was opening saying that they're not responsible for Jeff's well-being if he flies off. So it was great. But they did mention that the members of the roster from Michinoku Pro Wrestling made their way to their backyard, and it was great. Now let's start with that match. So let's start with our first match. We have Masahiro Takanashi and Emi Sakura taking on Sarugi, and of course, also 11 from Michinoku Pro. If you guys know this bear shows up. All he does is eat fish, try to do what he wants. So basically, it was hard to deal with him. Even so, he tries to control him, not control him completely, try to calm him down and all that. There was a moment where he lost control, and everybody had to play dead except one person. The person who was holding the camera, and that is none other than Balinaki. So that was really, really funny. However, there were moments, of course, also 11 walked out while Sarugi was by herself. But unfortunately, it did not help because it was Masa who picked up the win for his team. Now, our next match, we have Chi Koshikawa teaming up with Sayaka to take on Tokiko Kihara and Yuna Mizumori. Now, keep in mind, I have seen these two ladies, Chi and what's her name, Sayaka, have lose on many occasions, even in tag teams. But because we have a little bit of the experience with Yuna, Tokiko is not that far behind from them, even though Chi and Tokiko, along with Chi and Sayaka, are part of the same generation. But it was a really good match. There was some great cohesive between both Chi and Sayaka, but it was Sayaka who picked up the win when she pinned Tokiko. Because I don't recall seeing Sayaka making the pin. Normally, whenever she's in tag team, her partner's the one who's doing that. But it's great to see her finally make up the pin. And I think Yuna was really shocked that happened. That Sayaka picked up a win by pinning Tokiko. So it's great. So good job, Sayaka. Now our last match, we got the Best Bros reunited. Yes! I love the Best Bros. However, in the process of this match, they're facing off against Ringo, Yamaya, and Masushi from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. But however, we got a moment of the Battle of the Apples. If you guys know this or not, those who do, you know what I'm talking about. Those who don't, I'll explain. Mei Suruga is dubbed known as the Big Apple. Yes, that's her nickname. However, it appears that Michinoku Pro Wrestling has their own resident apple, and that guy is Ringo Yamaya. So basically, it's the Battle of the Apples, in this tag team setting. But you can tell in this match that you were going to see both Mei and Ringo were going to face off each other, and it was a good moment. But it was Balinaki who picked up the win when he did a flying splash right onto Ringo, giving Best Bros the win. So I have to say, Best Bros are back. They're kicking ass again, and I can't believe it. But, however, the Jonkin doesn't end there. There was a good moment where, of course, Mei Suruga decided, to switch the players around. Basically, she wanted to face Ringo for a match in Jonkin. So, Mei won. But basically, there was a interesting showdown because I wasn't anticipating everybody. It was also won his first round, but he lost the second. But I was surprised the showdown between Balinaki and Mei Shruga, but it was Balinaki who walked out. But the end of the whole thing, it ended up with Emi Sakura winning the whole thing thanks by defeating Balinaki. But I have to say it was a pretty good show seeing Emi Sakura there. I'm sure she's going to be heading back to Japan soon as the thing with the typhoon is done. But we'll find out when it's there. So they haven't made an announcement for this weekend's ChocoPro, but I'll find out for sure. If there is, I'll just review it. So right now, let's move on to our last thing we're going to do is news updates. Okay, so we got two news updates. The first one is about the promotion in Japan, Just Tap Out, run by Taka Michinoku. Now, it was announced for their upcoming event on the 7th of October. We're going to have the queen of GTO, the championship that currently is being held by Tomoka Inaba. She issued a challenge against her a reverse nomination with Misa Kagura, who we call her as the clone of Tam Nakano. Apparently, this match is going to happen, and there's going to be another match, a tag team, which I'm not kind of like that down with. I'm not hyped for it. But however, this one I did not anticipate this. Taka Michinoku made it happen. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, it appears that Unagi wants to assess one of their competitors, and that is AOI. AOI has been asked Taka Michinoku on Twitter, please make this match happen. And it appears he made it happen, guys. So we're going to see Unagi Sayaka coming up on the 7th of October in Just Tap Out. Now keep in mind, this is not the first time that Unagi has wrestled outside of Stardom. Now, if you remember this year, she and Mina challenged for the Women World Pro Wrestling Tag Team titles against Luminous, Masaki, and Takase, which they ended up in a double countout. But also recently, back in early in September, I believe, or was it August? We had, of course, in July, I believe. It was in Ganbare Pro. We saw Unagi challenged her former mentor, Yuna Manaze, which she successfully won. Now, this is the second announcement coming from the fact that Unagi will be wrestling outside of Stardom. She will be wrestling outside again after this for October on the 26th in Korkanal for World Women Pro Wrestling Diana again. To be honest with you guys, I'm gonna make this very interesting. I'm gonna send a request to watchprowrestling.org, and hopefully they can put this up. I want to see these two events, so cross your fingers when that happens. Now, moving on. Now, our last update is from the GCW stuff. It was announced for the upcoming event in Japan for DOA match. We're gonna see Ito and Kobayashi taking on Manser and Cole Radrick. So this is going to be another interesting match. So keep in mind, we are almost there to see GCW in Japan. I can't wait to see it. I know some of you are dying to see it. So I think that's pretty much it. So I believe it's time to call it a day. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Get ready for the next one coming up soon right now. As soon as this one's uploaded, the following day we'll be uploading Tuesday Wrestling, where we have NWA Power, AEW Dark, and NXT 2.0. So that's going to happen as well. So this is only part 1. Part 2 will be released the following day. And then, of course, after that, we have, of course, AEW Dynamite for the Grand Slam Tournament of Champions Finals, where we see who will walk out as the brand new AEW World Champion. So that is something we definitely going to do. However, there is a wrinkle to that. I'm not sure I'll be able to add in maybe one review for another promotion before that. The reason is this. I'm going to be going back to my regular day job, working in the morning, won't be out till the afternoon. So stick with me and I'll do my best. And that's the same thing that's going to happen on Thursday So stick with me on that. Basically, I just needed the work, guys. Need the work. You know, tough times right now for me financially. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.